Hey, Mr. Richard, thank you so much, man, for jumping into this call today. I know you're a very busy person, and you have a lot going on, but I just want to say thank you for allowing me to ask you some questions today about, what our program with Credit Repair Automation Services has been like for you. Obviously, you're somebody that has already a lot of experience in the financial industry. So I was like, this would actually be a great call to bring in somebody that, has this type of experience and has experienced a program like ours, just to get your feedback on it. So, just want to say
No
thank you.
problem, Mr. Alex. I appreciate you having me, and I'm really honored and blessed to share my experience with the program so far with everyone else, and to let anyone know who's on the fence or who's probably debating on uh, getting in touch with you and your team and getting the process started. Hope I can clear up any misconceptions or anything that anyone might have any concerns about.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. So, it's going to be a quick call. I'm not going to take too much of your time. Trying to keep this call around like 15 minutes, but I only have a couple questions for you. So, is it okay if we, get started on that?
Oh, yes, sir. No problem.
Awesome. Man. Awesome. Cool. So, the first question for you is, what got you actually interested in our program?
Okay, so I've been in financial customer service solutions game for a while, and I noticed that a lot of people. So I originally started just doing real estate, and a lot of people would come to me and say stuff like, "Yo, man, I want to get into real estate. I want to do this. I want to do that." And the first thing I would say is, "Well, how's your credit?" Because you can do deals in real estate without credit, but a lot of deals are made backed on the fact that your credit is going to be a determining factor of whether people will lend you, hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars. And
Yeah.
I'll always ask people, well, how's your credit? And sometimes people will say, well, it's not the best.
Mhm.
So I kind of shifted my attention from teaching people real estate initially to, okay, well, let's work on your credit first, and while we're working on your credit, let's get into real estate. So, almost one hand washes the other. Because if your
Yep.
credit's not good, I don't care how much you know about real estate. When people want to loan you millions of dollars, they're not going to loan it to you because you're not showing that you're a responsible individual, or you show that you can't handle a small amount of money, let alone a lot of money. So I started pretty much coaching myself
Hmm.
on how to do that.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, well, I noticed on your credit scores and on your credit karma and your expedient and your TransUnion reports, you have this. And then I
Hmm.
will go look it up myself, and I will try to address it. And I would go and try to address all these, it's just little old me and
Yeah.
little old them versus these big corporations. And I noticed that it was just overwhelming just doing it myself, because more and more people would just come to me and say, I need help with my credit. I want to get into real estate. I want to get into storage units. I want to get into Airbnb or whatever vehicle you want to get to your financial goal. But their credit was almost hindering them. Even if it was something as small as, I want to buy a house or I want to
Yeah.
get approved for a car, their credit would always hinder them. And I could only do so much because I am only one person. And you know, I would, surf the internet and I was looking for other solutions and seeing
Mhm.
if other people would have that the same burden I was having. That you would have the clientele that would come to you and you would try to address these issues yourself, but it was just too much for one person to handle. And that's when I reached out to Mr. Alex and his team, and been off to the races since.
Yeah. Awesome. Now, how long have you been, helping people with that real estate?
I actually been probably since like 2011,
Oh,
years,
damn. That's
years.
yeah.
But then I got into kind of helping people with their credit because I became so knowledgeable on the subject
Yep.
that it just kind of lended itself to it. Because when people would come to me, like I said before, they'd come to me and they'll say, "Yo, I want to get into this. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this," and a lot of my clients were referrals. I still got the real estate people, and I still got the starting a business or buying a business or Airbnb, real estate and storage units and all that kind of stuff. I still all got that stuff.
Yep.
But a lot of my referrals was coming to me for credit repair. And it just got so overwhelming that I almost had to just stop
Yeah.
focusing on the other stuff and just focus on the credit repair. And I've been doing credit repair. I still do all the other stuff too, but about 2 years, and I've been doing it all solo. And
Yeah.
then that's why I said, you came across my page, you seem professional, you seem like you knew what you was talking about. And then what really sold me is the automation part. Like I get with your team, and that's almost like I felt like they was working for me. It wasn't
Yeah.
like I was doing any of the work that I was doing before, trying to go and look at all these delinquencies, charge off, late payments, repo, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
It's all out of my hands. All I'm doing, I'm focusing on growing my business, not working in my business, right? So
Amazing.
a person come in, just a typical day, a client would come in, they would, I would sit down and give them a consultation and say if my services can be used or not. And when they do, I onboard them, take care of whatever else I need to, and then boom, they're gone, right? And then your team has pretty much taken it from there on out, and I really ain't got to worry about it. I check in every once in a while with like a random message every month, 2 months or something like that. Hey, how you doing? Everything going? How's it looking? Oh man, it's jumped up this. It's jumped up this. It's done this. Okay, cool. Send me a screenshot. Let me see. Because I'll keep the screenshots in my phone and I just refer back to them, and that's how I track them. And it's been a easier process than me doing it all by myself before.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, at the end of the day, it's almost like you're buying time, because at the end of the day, like you said, right, you're very involved with other businesses as well and helping other people. And you have, clients that you're helping, kind of getting them through that ladder where they can actually move into other investments and things like that, right? The second question that I actually had for you was, what made you decide to partner up with us and to attempt to launch this business on your own? But you all kind of pretty much already answered that on the first one, right? So we'll get past that one because, like I said, you pretty much already answered that.
But you also kind of brought up a point too. It also had to do because if it just was the credit repair, if it just was the credit repair, it'd still be worth the investment. If it was just that, right? But now when people would come to me and say, "Okay, now I fixed my credit. Let's do something in business. Let's do something in real estate. Let's do something on this avenue. I'm really thinking about this." And now, before I used to go and get funding for people, right? I know the processes, I know how it worked, but it was kind of extensive. It's not for the faint of heart. It's kind of time consuming, and it's a little more extensive than a lot of people would like to know. And things are constantly changing, and it's hard for a smaller team, even my team or just me. It's kind of harder for me to track. So when I have a client and then they get their credit repaired to the optimal level of where they need to be to apply for funding, then, like I said, it's all automated. Now I can just convert that client from credit repair to either business funding or business credit. And now I'm almost double/triple dipping a client that I've already vested from before. Or what I can do too is I can sell them on the funding. And now, okay, well, we can get you funding, but your credit's not the best. Let's focus on the credit first. And then in a couple months, 3, 4, 5, whatever the process takes, then we can focus on the business funding. And now I done made 2 times, 3 times revenue on one client that back in the day I would have to pass to someone else or refer them to someone else.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Actually, that's a great point that you made, because sometimes, like, if you don't offer all the services, now you got one person that came, trusted you, already did a business with you, and you're sending him to somebody else where they might not even want to go and work with somebody else because they're like, hey, my trust is with Mr. Richard. I already worked with him. He took care of me. He's the same one that fixed my credit. So that's actually a great point that I didn't even get to touch on. But, I appreciate you for actually bringing that up, because it's actually very valuable. And I've seen that, most of our partners, that's what they actually like. They say, hey, it's not just a credit repair business. We actually have a ecosystem where we can actually make different sources of income within the same business, right? Within the same business model, we can help somebody establish business credit, or go and get business funding. And like you said, a lot of people want to go and get the business funding, because a lot of people, what they actually want is they want to obtain something. They have like a desire to obtain, or to achieve a goal. And a lot of the times they want to go straight for the funding, but because their personal credit doesn't allow them to get there, then you can say, hey, don't worry, we could help you out get there, but we do have to start with the credit repair process. So that's actually, man, I highly appreciate you bringing that up, because that's actually a very, very good point. And I think you're the first person that brings that up, from the testimonials that we have right now. So I appreciate you for
Yes, sir.
bringing
No
that.
problem.
Awesome. So the next question for you will be, how has your knowledge improved since you joined? And then what are you expected to achieve within the next 12 months? Pretty much like, where are you trying to get within the next 12 months?
One thing about that, one thing I really can appreciate is that you're not in it alone.
Yeah.
And for years, it's almost like me against the world. I've had mentors, or I've done coaching programs, but once you're done with them, you're kind of back to the wolves. You're back.
Exactly.
You're back on your own.
Yep.
And one thing about when I decided to go with you guys is that it's continuous.
Let's
It's
continue. Yep.
it's one, I'm in a group of with the individuals who are going through all the same pain points I'm trying to get with: customer acquisition, selling people on credit, marketing, networking, scaling, and just everything. So if I have a pain point or someone else has a pain point, right, we'll address them in our meetings,
Mhm.
and then we just kind of go from there. And you can kind of see how other people handle issues and how I handle issues, and someone can learn from me. And as
Exactly.
far as me scaling,
Mhm.
I mean, I was doing some decent numbers
Yeah.
before, but now I'm learning different strategies that makes me more optimistic on where I need to be. And if I'm not making easily mid six figures
Yeah.
by this time next year, or just probably just on credit repair. That's not
Yeah.
including the funding portion. That's
Yeah.
not including the business credit portion. None of that other stuff. Just in credit repair. It can, the possibilities are endless if you have a team in place, systems in place, and that type of stuff. So I'm really optimistic about this year, and anybody who's in this program should be optimistic too, because this is the year we can do it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's just so much potential, right? At the end of the day, the people, the industry, it's still a blue ocean, right? Some people might say like, oh, well, there's a lot of credit repair agencies, or there's a lot of people doing funding or whatever. But at the end of the day, is you once we show you how to market the business, you're marketing different than the 95% of the people that are out there,
Yeah,
right? Because
and it,
that's
and it yeah, and
yeah,
there's something else that everybody always says is, oh man, there's not enough people out there that need credit repair. I was actually reading consumer laws,
mhm,
and uh, Federal Exchange Commission stated
yeah,
that I think it's like 68 million people have less than a 580 credit score. I
yeah,
mean,
it's insane.
I'll round it up to 70 million.
Yeah.
No one's going to touch that. Like, you're not going to get a portion of that.
Yeah,
It's
not even
like
a portion.
trying to scoop out. It's like a swimming pool in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah,
Don't ever think that there's not an abundance of money out here, because 70 million people, it's it's out there. The money is
yeah,
out there.
yeah.
People will
Oh, there's
pay
money
for
everywhere. Just
people will
just go
pay
to
for
my
people will
garage.
pay for it.
Just go to
Huh?
my garage, man. You'll see there's a Rolls Royce, there's a Lamborghini, there's all these people, right? So, bro, there's a lot of people making a lot of money actually, you know what I mean? Not just like talking about myself. I'm talking about like, my neighbors, people that and all over, like, where I live, and all over. If you go like to Carson Coffee, like there's never there's money there in every industry, really, even
Yeah.
realtors, like some people are complaining about real estate, but man, there's realtors out there closing deals, closing loans, so there's
Yeah,
money
people
everywhere.
always gonna need a place to live, and
Exactly.
people when they need a place to live, they gonna need some credit, right?
Yep.
They never going away. Taxes, credit, and houses. I
Yep.
mean, it's almost
100%.
bulletproof. You're never
100%.
gonna have that. And one thing that I'll say about this program that I really appreciate is one of my mentors a while back
Mhm,
said, "I'll pay for my 10,000 hours." So
mhm.
what that meant is that when you start something from scratch, you're going to have to devote a lot of hours to getting it right. The
Oh, for sure.
scripts, the team, the network, the freaking experience, the marketing, the funnels, all that type of stuff. You're gonna have to devote some hours to it, right? So
Sure.
either you can buy the process or you can save the money and do it yourself. But like I said, why reinvent the wheel?
Exactly.
This service has been going on for years and it ain't going nowhere. But
100%.
what is going somewhere is your time. You can spend 5 years and try to figure it out,
Yeah.
and and maybe come up with your own little thing. But the 5 years you wasted, you missed out on so much opportunity. The amount of money you save for the small cash ejection, it ain't
Yep.
even worth it. It's
Exactly.
really not even worth it. And I was one of those guys that was on the fence for a while. Man, I can do this
Yeah.
myself. I'll
Yep.
figure this out. But then I came across your page, talked to you for 5 minutes, and I was just like,
Yep.
it just makes more sense.
Yep.
Why?
100%. Plus, one thing that you have to like take in consideration too is like when you're trying to figure out on your own, you're not really trying, like you're not figuring something out that is proven. You're figuring out something that's work like that might work for you, right? So, it's better to duplicate success, right? I've got mentors even now that are in the 8-figure level, right? I'm in the 7-figure level. So it's always good to have somebody who already has the results that you want because it all comes down to duplicating success, right?
Yeah.
So the last question, man, just because, like I said, we want to, I'm sorry for taking so much of your time,
No,
but
no problem, sir. You good?
cool, cool, cool. All right. So the last one would be, what would you say to anyone who's on the edge of launching their business with credit repair automation services? So
Okay, so I'm talking directly to you people. So if y'all watching this all the way through, just hear me out. Just listen to this one part, and hopefully this will like either get you right over the hump. You, I've been there. I've been the guy in the trenches learning about credit laws and trying to fight with these credit card companies or these trying to dispute all this stuff, write all these letters and deal with the client relations and all that kind of stuff. I've been there, right? And then you thinking, man, I could take home the whole pie, but you got to do all the work, right?
yeah,
So don't look at it from the money aspect because the money will come with the volume. Look at the time you're saving. You onboard somebody, you upload their information into a system, and then you're done. Now you on to the next one. It's almost like an assembly line, right?
yep,
Think of a car. You're not gonna go and say, okay, cool, let me put the wheels on. Let me get the hood on. Let me get the tires. Let me paint it. No. You do your portion of the assembly line. Okay, here's the frame. This the frame you want? Yes. Boop, next. I'm gone. Right? And you can pop out so many more people, cars, or whatever you want to insert into this analogy, way faster, right? Regardless if you might not take the whole pie home, but I actually met Mark Cuban once, and he told me a piece of a watermelon is a whole lot better than a whole grape. So
yeah,
you think of it like that, right? You don't
absolutely.
you might be making the whole enchilada, but how
Yeah,
big is your enchilada, right?
100%.
Take home a piece of the watermelon that you don't have to work as hard for, or you can take home the whole grape and you got to work hard for it, right?
Yeah,
Your time is the commodity, right? You want your time back. No amount of money could bring back the time that you will save with this process. So if you're on the
100%.
fence, just remember that time is the game. And if
Yeah,
you want to do it, then let's do it, but maybe it ain't your time, but we'll be here, he'll be here, I'll be here, because I'm not going nowhere, because, whenever you're ready to make that move, reach out to Mr. Alice and he'll take care of you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about trying to save your time, right? Save your time. Most people already have either a career, a 9 to 5, or they're already busy with what they got going on. When you start a business, the whole point of anybody starting a business really is to have more freedom, right? So you don't want to imagine starting a business where now you feel more trapped than you felt before you even started it. The whole point of us is to help you, regain more time while making more money. That's really the concept of, you partnering up with us, right? But yeah, man, I loved all the answers. I mean, I highly appreciate you for taking time out of your day to be here, because I know somebody is going to relate with your message, especially you being like a financial coach, having so much experience. And I mean, I've seen it, man. You're actually a hustler. I see you posting a bunch of content. I see a lot of people engaging with all the things that you do online. So, I'm very blessed to have people like you inside of the program as well.
No problem, sir. I appreciate you and your wisdom and your team, and I look forward to working with you or anybody in the future. It'll make a difference. If you want to reach out to me or reach out to Mr. Alex, we'll take care of you.
100%, 100%. All right, awesome, man. So I'll be seeing you next week on our private mastermind. Like I said, hope you have a nice weekend, man, and then I'll see you pretty soon. Okay.
All right, sir. Take it
All right.
easy. Thank you for your time.
Bye.